I barely believe what this instrument here sounded like the first time I heard it, and I think you're gonna have a similar experience. And don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I'm gonna go ahead and clear up what exactly this instrument is and how I went about integrating something like this into a song that I recorded. But first, you gotta hear what exactly we're working with here.
Pretty wild, huh?
So unsurprisingly, this instrument right here is called a thunder tube. And while I would definitely classify this as a hand percussion instrument, I definitely am not able to play like any of the other hand percussion instruments I have. And that was a huge factor in how I try to write a song including it, all of which I'll get into later in the video. But first, I'm gonna go ahead and explain how exactly this makes the sound that it does. Hello. Don't judge, you know you used to do that as a kid too. Yes, I know I am not a kid anymore, but that's besides the point. Anyway, what I want to say is me yelling through this cardboard tube is kind of sort of how the thunder tube makes it sound. This thin metal coil here on the end of it vibrates when you shake it. The vibrations then travel through this metal coil and reach the flat end of this tube here. Those vibrations hitting the flat end of this tube then echo out of the hollow end of it. And the sound you end up getting ends up sounding like a storm or thunder. My voice echoing through this hollow tube is what made the noise you heard earlier, and the vibrations echoing through this hollow tube are what make this noise. Cool little extra bit too. Because the vibrations are what make the sound, if you use your hand, you can kind of mute the sound. And I think that can be used strategically in making a song too. Okay, so now that we have a general overview of this instrument and how it makes it sound, let's go over how we would even go about incorporating an instrument like this into music. All right, let's use some methodical process of elimination here to first figure out what we're probably not going to be able to do when using the thunder tube in a piece of music. The first thing is harmony. Harmony is created by playing a series of chords. And chords are created when you play more than one note at the same time. And the thunder tube, as you heard already, it doesn't really play particular distinct notes, let alone more than one of those at the same time to make particular chords in a harmony. So chords in harmony are kind of out of the question for the thunder tube. The second thing we should consider and go over is melody. So unlike harmony and chords, melodies are actually created by playing one note at a time in different patterns and rhythms, usually over a chord progression or harmony. And yeah, as cool as it would be to make some sort of melody with a thunder tube, it's not really in the wheelhouse for it. Now I'm going to use this cabasa and this clave here to show why the thunder tube probably isn't going to have rhythm be its strong suit. See, with these other hand percussion instruments, you can get a distinct hit or distinct attack and decay when you hear the sound. The thunder tube obviously isn't exactly like that. It kind of just keeps going. I mean, the closest thing you can get to that is stopping the vibrations with your hand to mute it, but it's not as short and distinct as the cabasa and the clave. So given that harmony, melody, and rhythm are kind of the core foundations of what makes a song what it is, and also that we've concluded that this thunder tube isn't going to be the best in any of those things, how exactly do we go about incorporating this into a song? Atmosphere. The thunder tube is good at creating atmosphere and kind of changing the tone and feel of a piece of music. Now, before I go ahead and explain that further, I actually want to attempt, keyword being attempt, to play the piano and the thunder tube at the same time to kind of demonstrate what I mean. If you're seeing this part of the video, that means I was actually able to successfully play the piano and thunder tube at the same time. All right, here it goes. That was harder than it probably looked. Or maybe it wasn't. See, instead of directly contributing to the harmony, melody, or rhythm, instead what the Thunder Tube does is use its constant droning and arguably ominous presence to add to the tone or atmosphere of whatever musical structure is already there. This can work the opposite way too. This instrument being the first one you hear, and then other instruments adding to this sound. Now keep that idea in mind as I go ahead and show you the full composition I made recording my other instruments with this one. And if you happen to be really enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, so you don't miss future videos where I do more cool music projects, get more interesting instruments, and kind of just in general share my experience and everything I'm learning with music. Well, there you have it, the Thunder Tube. Leave a comment to let me know if this is the first time you've heard about this instrument, or if maybe you've seen or heard it before. I don't know about you, but me personally, I am a little bit interested and curious to see what other music projects I can fit this into. But in the meantime, as always, hope you guys hear some great music today, and I'll see you in the next video.